Hi, I'm Max, and in this video I'll tell you about why you should meditate and what you can expect from meditation. And now I'll tell you both about the positives and the negatives of meditation. Now, if you start meditating, I think it's extremely important to understand what you can expect from meditation. Because if you experience a lot of negative sides that you weren't expecting, then you might stop meditating, even though there's a lot of possible growth that you could have from that. Now, overall, without a doubt, I'd recommend meditation for everyone. But there's a lot of pitfalls and negative sides that you should be aware of before you start meditating. Simply because they can come as a shock if you weren't expecting them. So we'll start with the pros of meditation. Meditation has been extensively studied to have a lot of positive effects. Now, maybe the most known example that meditation has is that it's a great source of stress relief, especially in our constantly busy society. Now, meditation promotes our mental health in many different ways. It reduces anxiety, it increases our attention spans. And that's especially good because it counteracts the reduction of our attention spans caused by today's culture and social medias. Now, it also builds mental discipline, and this helps you cut those negative habits out of your life. Now, meditation reduces anger and irritation. And this is one of the main positive effects that I've personally experienced from meditation. I used to get irritated and mad very often. It was hard to control my feelings when things went wrong. But after I started meditating, it almost completely disappeared. And now I don't really get angry anymore. And it takes a lot more to get me annoyed. But the benefits aren't limited to the cognitive level. They're also physical. For instance, it reduces blood pressure caused by tension and strain on the heart that's due to stress. It also improves quality of sleep. And because meditation reduces tension, it's also effective at making headaches caused by tension in the neck, for instance, less common. And now, other than the physical and cognitive benefits of meditation, meditation also has what other people might call spiritual woo-woo benefits. But they're just as practical, if not more practical, than the physical and cognitive benefits. Now, one of the main sort of spiritual benefits of meditation is that it increases awareness. When you start meditating, you'll find that you become more aware of your surroundings and your inner world. Now, I know it's a bit of a fluffy concept to say that you increase your awareness, but if I were to clarify it with a metaphor, I'd say it's like increasing the resolution of your perception. So for instance, with this metaphor, if you were previously experiencing life in 720p, an increase in awareness means that you increase the resolution of your senses to 4K. So the world becomes more clear, and you start to notice details that you haven't noticed before. You may, for instance, start noticing small things such as dust particles on your phone that you were completely unaware of before that. Now, when you increase your awareness, this change of resolution happens not only with your senses, but also with your inner world. You start noticing thoughts that you were unaware of before. You start noticing more and more things in your subconscious. And now this brings me to another one of the main benefits of meditation, and that is that it's a form of self-therapy. Trauma from your subconscious will bubble up and you'll become aware of it. Things you repressed will bubble up, and this will enable you to work on them. Now, this also brings me to the cons, the negative sides of meditation. And that is that old trauma can bubble up, and that can be extremely painful. Just know that even if it hurts, you becoming aware of that means that you're on the path of letting it go. Now, another pitfall with meditation is, if you're a chronic worrier or an overthinker, meditation can be extremely hard for you, depending on which technique you use. You might easily end up falling into a spiral of overthinking and worrying while you meditate. And that's not good, of course. That can increase stress and anxiety instead of relieving it. Now, in this case, I would not recommend doing do-nothing meditation, and instead try to focus on techniques which emphasize laying awareness on your thoughts or letting them go. And now, another pitfall of meditation is sort of spiritual arrogance or ignorance. That you start thinking you're better than everyone else because you meditate. If you think this way, if you think that you're already at the top, then you leave no room for yourself to grow. But really, when it comes to spiritual growth, there is no top. There is no maximum level of awareness that you can achieve. And also, everyone grows at their own pace. Thinking you're better than someone else because they haven't reached a certain point that you have doesn't make any sense. For instance, it's like a fly judging an elephant on how long it takes for the elephant to become mature. It doesn't make sense. You can't really compare the two because they're subjective. And likewise, it's irrelevant to compare your growth to someone else's, because people grow at different speeds. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to yourself in the past. But remember that even though you might have had some growth, you're still at the starting line of your spiritual growth. After all, if the growth is infinite, then you're always at the starting line. You're always infinitely far from the top. So you should cut the arrogance. And remember that humbleness is also a mark of how spiritually developed one is. Now another con of meditation is that you really have to commit to doing it every day. If you want to have all the positive benefits, both physical, cognitive and spiritual, you'll need to commit to doing it every day. When I decided to commit to meditating every day and for a certain amount of time minimum, I experienced a lot more growth than when I did sporadically some random days for some random amount of time. Now when I decided to meditate for an hour or more every single day for over a year, I experienced more growth from that than I had in the past 15 years before. Now that's how powerful meditation really is. I got 15 years of growth in simply 1 year. To get that type of growth, you really need to commit to doing it every day. Now another con is that it's easy to fall off track. If you don't make a strong commitment to meditating every single day, you'll likely just forget and fall back. Now over the past year or so, I've also slipped up a bit. Instead of doing the usual 20 minutes to an hour, I've done simply a few minutes here and there during the day. And I've noticed that the speed of my change has severely plateaued over the last year. So you have to really commit to meditating if you want powerful results. Commit to doing it every single day. Know that the thing with the benefits of meditation is that they kind of snowball. They become bigger and bigger and affect other areas of your life. For instance, your confidence, your career, or your love life. But be careful of not following the technique you're doing. For instance, if you're doing do-nothing meditation, laying down with your eyes closed, that's not exactly meditating. It's way too easy to fall asleep if you do that. And if you sleep, well, of course you're not gonna experience the results. Now another con or pitfall of meditation is, if you're used to doing a lot of things in your life, if you're busy all the time, then meditating can feel like you're kind of wasting time and you're not doing things that you should be doing. You feel as though you should be doing something else than meditating. You feel as though you should do your laundry, do your cooking, or do your homework. And really to deal with this, you have to lay your awareness on that thought that you want to do something else than meditating right now. And then simply consciously let go of it. And now to summarize, meditation has a lot more positives than negatives. And the negatives, you can manage them and deal with them. Now you may ask, is meditation for everyone? I think definitely, but you have to remember that people are at different stages of their growth. Some people might not be ready for meditation yet. But for those that are open-minded and willing to try, I can most certainly recommend it. Because the growth from meditation is often overlooked. And I can promise you, the growth that's possible from meditation is 1000 times bigger than you think it is. And if you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button so I know I can make more content like this. And subscribe if you want more personal development content and theory. And that's all for today. Out.